Hi, let's solve the very first question from today's bi-weekly contest, that is maximum number of operations with the same score first. So in this question, we are just given an array of integer called nums and we can perform the following operation while num contains at least two elements. What is the operation? Operation is choose the first two elements of nums and delete them. And the score of the operation is the sum of the deleted elements. Now, our task is to find the maximum number of operations that can be performed such that all operations have the same score. And we need to return the maximum number of operations possible that satisfy the condition mentioned above. Okay, so let us first understand what we have to basically do. So, in this question, it's mentioned that you have to perform an operation. The operation is choose the first two elements and delete them. And now you have to return what? Maximum number of operations that can be performed with the same score, right? All operation must have the same score. And what is the score? Score is the sum of the deleted elements, right? So let's see. So what we can do, one operation is simply take the first two elements, right? So now the score will become the sum of the deleted elements, that is 5 in this case, 3 plus 2. Now what we have to do, we have to keep performing this operation and we will stop when we are not getting the same score, right? Because it's mentioned that all the operations that you perform should have the same score. So obviously there's only one operation and there's no way to go about it. You have to choose the first two elements and remove them from the array. So after doing this, you will be left with 1, 4, 5. Now you already know that after removing the first two elements, right, your score will be 5. Because you cannot do absolutely anything, your score for all the operations must be 5 only. So now in the remaining array, just check what are the first two elements. If their sum is equal to score, right, then increment the counter, right? Let's take the counter. So counter here was 1, increment the counter here will become 2, and because the score is 5, then now we don't have more elements, right? Let's take the second case, 3 2 6 1 4. Nums array is 3 2 6 1 4. Now as we know, because it's only one operation and the operation is you have to delete two first elements and you will get a score for doing that operation. What are the first two elements? 3 2, so score becomes 5. Now your array is 6 1 4, so counter here will be equal to 1. Now you are left with 6 1 4. What is the operation? Take the first two elements and delete them. So you can now see that the sum of the first two elements is 7, which is not equal to score. So here we have to stop because now I cannot perform any more operations, right? And we can simply return the counter, the final counter. So in this case, the output will be 1. In this case, the output will be 2. So that is it. That is what the question is. So it's a pretty easy question because all you have to do is just take the first two elements sum, right? Store it in a variable. Let's call it sum or score. You can call it anything. Then you have to simply iterate the remaining array, right? Iterate from this index, right? Index 2 up till n index. So you will iterate from I is equal to 2 up till n, and here you will not be incrementing I plus plus, instead I plus equal to 2, because it is the first two elements that you have to choose, right? And you have to delete them. That is the operation. So you have to delete them. So you can simply jump by two indexes, right? Here you jumped by two index, then you jumped by two index again, you come to the fourth index. Now you can see we do not have two elements in the array, right? We have less than two elements. That means we cannot perform the operation now, and that is when we have to halt the operation, correct? So that is it. Here simply check if nums of I, right, plus nums of I plus 1, it is equal to the sum that you have. So increment your counter. Initially the counter will be 1 because we have already included this as an operation, right? Because that is how we calculate the score and store in this inside the sum. And if let's say this is not true, that is when you halt the operation, because um, as you know, we have to take the first two elements, that is the operation. We cannot do anything other than that, correct? So you can simply break from here and after this return cnt. So that's all about it. This is the solution of the problem. Let us go ahead and see the code for this. So you can see I've taken the size, and obviously if size is 1, then we cannot perform any operation. Then we calculate this sum variable, that is the score, that is nums of 0 plus nums of 1, and we take the counter as 1 because here we have already performed this operation once. Then we iterate in this array and simply check if nums of I and I plus 1 is equal s. This is score, same score. Then you have to increment the counter, otherwise just break, because then you cannot perform any number of operations and return the counter. And if you see the time complexity, it is big O of n, and space complexity is big O of 1, it's constant. So that is all about this problem, and this is how you have to solve it.